5 a.m. On May 18, 2025, and we are here at the Hampton Inn in Salt Lake City, and we're about to get picked up by Tim Avery for our Salt Lake City area big day. In order to complete my 50 birds in all 50 states before I'm 50 challenge, I needed to make a trip to Utah. I had hoped to cover the state between later trips to Idaho from the north and Las Vegas from the south, but it was going to be tricky and time-consuming. Without knowing my predicament, my friend Eric Gustafson came to the rescue. He invited me to accompany him on a short weekend trip to join a marathon birding big day as a part of the Great Salt Lake Birding Festival and guided by Tim Avery with Pitta Tours. I gracefully accepted the offer with dreams of 150 Utah birds dancing in my head. On May 17, our flight out of Grand Rapids was delayed and nearly caused us to miss our connection in Minneapolis. I've never sprinted so fast through an airport in my life. Thoroughly winded, we sat down for our flight to Salt Lake City. The flight was gorgeous with views of the Great Salt Lake and mountains surrounding Salt Lake City as we came in for a landing. With any and every bird new to me in Utah, I quickly picked up 9 species between the airport and the hotel, including this osprey flyover at the airport while waiting for our Uber ride. We are prepared with all our gear because it looks like it's going to be a wet, big day. We had not worried too much about the weather as it is typically warm and dry around Salt Lake City. However, it became clear the closer we got to the date of the trip that our one day of birding in Utah would not follow that trend. Not only would there be rain, but the mountains would even be getting some snow. But there'll be birds to be had nonetheless, so we're gonna get going. Our tour leader Tim Avery picked us up in his van and we drove in the steady rain to meet up with the other participants. Our first stop was the Antelope Island causeway. With endless marshes and mudflats on both sides of the road, the causeway is shorebird heaven, and the rain let up enough to make it tolerable outside to scan for birds. In all, we got 14 species of shorebirds, including long-billed curlew, black-necked stilt, 400 black-bellied plovers, along with thousands of red-necked phalaropes and an unprecedented 4,000 sanderlings. In under 90 minutes, we had surpassed 50 birds and pushed my total for Utah to 55. The causeway led to our next stop, the unique and otherworldly landscape of Antelope Island. The island is a mix of grassland and rocky cliffs, all surrounded by the Great Salt Lake, making for some spectacularly beautiful scenery. At the visitor center, we quickly picked up 2 chukars, a targeted species for this location and my only lifer of the day. This introduced species has established breeding populations here and is therefore countable. In addition, we added northern mockingbird, western meadowlark, and burrowing owls, which dotted the grassland landscape as we drove. A quick drive-by stop at White Rock Bay and Corrals produced roosting barn owls, Say's phoebe, and great looks at a horned lark. Further along the road, we picked up several grassland and sagebrush species like grasshopper sparrow, brewer sparrow, and sage thrasher. We even had the fortune of running into a herd of bison, a herd that has been managed on this island since the late 1800s. One of the few patches of trees on the island is at Gar Ranch. Since there are so few trees on the island, where there are trees, there are birds. However, rain had put the damper on the passerine birding here. Despite this, we picked up western wood pewee, dusky flycatcher, and black-headed grosbeak, not to mention great views of another barn owl perched in a tree. In all, despite the weather, we did very well, and we left Antelope Island with my running total at 77 species. A quick stop on the causeway on our way out earned us several new birds not seen earlier, including northern shoveler, lesser and greater scaup, marbled godwit, horned grebe, and a black-crowned night heron, bringing my total to 83, and it was only 10:30 in the morning. A very heavy rain greeted us at Farmington Bay Waterfowl Management Area, our next destination. We did our best to bird through the van windows as they constantly fogged up. The water birds didn't seem to mind, and we managed over 50 species, of which 21 were new for the day, including western and Clark's grebe, cinnamon teal, American white pelicans, neotropic cormorant, and heard both Sora and Virginia rail. Adding a rare red-breasted merganser at nearby Bountiful Pond put us over 100 species for the day. The rain continued and a decision had to be made. Looking at the radar, areas near Salt Lake City where our planned route was were looking very wet, but areas to the north near Ogden looked much drier. We had had enough of the rain and chose to head north. The weather did clear as we arrived, and we stopped at several locations in the area. At Buse Pond Park, we got great looks at a feeding American white pelican, and added several species including wood duck, a displaying black-chinned hummingbird with a warbling vireo singing in the background, lesser goldfinch, and a western tanager. Next, at Birdsong Trail, we had great looks at a displaying tom turkey and 2 flyby golden eagles. In Ogden Canyon, we stopped for American dipper. Several in the group got a look at one, but it quickly fled, and unfortunately, I missed it. We did, however, get good looks at white-throated swift and even the rare to the area Vaux's swift. With skies clearing and the Ogden area having produced 17 new birds for a total of 121, the group was in better spirits. Next, we headed up to Powder Mountain Ski Resort for some higher elevation species. As we ascended the mountain, fresh snow was frosting the ground and we added layers to keep warm. It even snowed some flurries while we were there. The group added several birds, including 4 species of woodpecker, northern flicker, hairy, and a prized American three-toed woodpecker, not to mention my second big miss for the day, a Williamson's sapsucker. Other additions were mountain chickadee, red-breasted nuthatch, mountain bluebird, and dark-eyed junco. With my total now at 128 species, it was getting far more difficult to add birds to the list. Our next destination was Park City for supper, but with several stops along the way to add some species, a few at a time. We stopped at a known location in Huntsville for broad-tailed hummingbird, and just down the road to view a great horned owl nest with chicks. We added American widgeon, ringneck duck, and bald eagle at Hennifer Ponds, and enjoyed great looks at black-throated gray and Virginia's warbler at Echo Canyon, where, embarrassingly, everyone but me heard a canyon wren. A common loon on Echo Reservoir put me at 139 species and helped us feel good about taking a break for supper in Park City. Ironically, my son Caleb and his wife Hannah were on a totally separate trip and were staying in Park City. We had been in touch through the day to see if we could connect, and as it happened, we were able to meet at the restaurant during our supper stop. What are the chances of this?
After supper, we didn't have much daylight left to utilize, so when we dipped on any new birds on Jeremy Ranch Road, and the muddy conditions there kept us from ascending higher up the mountain to the desired birding location, we were discouraged. We took the alternative, albeit busier location instead, up Mountain Dell Canyon to Big Mountain Pass. We picked up catbird, fox sparrow, green-tailed towhee, and some heard hermit thrush, a calling ruffed grouse, and a booming dusky grouse, but not me. For our final stop of the tour, darkness had settled, but we had hopes for hearing flammulated owl. Traffic noise was badly distracting, especially when a car racing up the mountain purposefully blew out our ears as they came by. Needless to say, some heard a distant flammulated owl, but not me. Dejected at the moment, but trying hard to think positively about the 144 species I had gotten that day, the group cumulatively got 156, we headed back to the hotel and said farewell to Tim. We were in for a short night's sleep and an early morning flight home. From leaving Grand Rapids to landing back home, we were gone only 48 hours. A huge thanks to my friend Eric, who made this trip possible. Now that Utah is thoroughly colored in on my eBird map, it was time to set my sights on Idaho and Washington. Stay tuned for more videos of my adventures birding in the Northwest. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe so you'll be notified of my new videos when they release.